And I want to welcome in everybody tuning in over on Facebook and YouTube. I believe we just went live over there. If you're already tuned in at tampaschoolofrealestate.com, welcome. And if you're just tuning in on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you drop in your email at tampaschoolofrealestate.com, or you can just go right to tsre.us. If you don't want to type as many letters into your keyboard, it'll take you to the same place. That's tsre.us. Or if you want to talk to one of our advisors, phone number is 813-333-2676. But I welcome any questions you have, any comments you have in today's chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Do you have a real estate license? Are you thinking about a real estate license? What information can you gain here live today if you're here live? If you're watching the replay, welcome to everyone watching the replay as well. But what we're going to be talking about today is specialization. And this is actually something that you learn about right in the first unit of your pre-licensing course. So you're learning about what most people get into is residential specialization. But then there's commercial, there's industrial, agricultural, and you could also even get into business brokerage. Your Florida real estate license works for any of these different fields in real estate. But the question is, which one will you specialize in? If you've heard the saying before, jack of all trades is usually a master of none. And look, there may be a more appropriate professional for specific types of real estate transactions. And you could still earn money in those situations through referral fees. So if you're going to refer a business lead to a business broker because you've got no idea what you're doing with business brokerage because you specialize in residential, you could still earn a cut of the commission, a cut of the sale with a referral fee. And you can even do that as just your business. We've talked about that before. That's something a lot of real estate professionals do. They don't really practice real estate themselves. They just refer business to people who do practice. And you could do that 100%, just refer everything out, or just refer things that are outside of your area of expertise, that are outside of the geographic area that you practice in. Referrals are usually worth 25% of the commission, depending on what it is you negotiate. So that's why you want to know what your specialization is, because you're not a specialist in real estate. You may have a real estate license, you may have a Florida sales associate or Florida broker license once you take the course, pass the exams, and get the necessary license. And that license allows you to work in any of these different industries of real estate. But the question is, which one are you going to be best suited for? Which one is going to be best for you to specialize in? So we've got a great episode for you today. We're going to be breaking down these different categories. Again, the residential, the commercial, the agricultural, the industrial, business brokerage. If you're tuning in live with the chat, let me know in the chat which one you want to find out the most about. Are you most interested in residential like most people? Or is it commercial? Is it industrial? Is it agricultural? Maybe you want to do business brokerage. Let me know what it is that you want to find out more about and stick with us. We've got a great show for you today. My name is John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. To get your real estate license, but have been struggling to find an instructor-led course that fits your schedule? I'm proud to introduce to you our on-demand instructor-led pre-licensing course. Now you do not have to make a course schedule fit around your schedule to take an instructor-led course. This course is designed to be 100% video-based instruction. And this video-based instruction, even though this is pre-recorded video, still gives you the opportunity to engage and interact with the information to ensure your understanding of important key concepts so you're prepared for your end of course exam and state exam. My name is John Chrismo, and I'll be your instructor in this course. And I've been with the Tampa School of Real Estate for several years now and have helped personally thousands of people going through the licensing process. I'm excited to be your instructor throughout this course. Now, as you're going through the course, if you need help, we're just a click away. In the corner, you'll see a little yellow chat bubble where you can message our student support team, where you'll be able to get in touch with our team of licensed support professionals that have sales associate licenses, broker licenses, and instructor licenses as well. So you don't have just one instructor, you have a whole team of people from the Tampa School of Real Estate to help keep you on track, to help keep you in the important information, and to help keep you moving closer towards building your real estate career, getting it off the ground, and being able to go out there to join a broker, to activate your license, and start earning commissions. All of that is possible and so much more. But to get started, you need to enroll. So enroll today. Take advantage of the special offer we have on this on-demand pre-licensing course. You'll have instant access as soon as you enroll. You'll get an email with information to log into your course online so you get logged in and start completing your course today. You don't have to wait until the class starts. The class is already there waiting for you. So take action today and let's start building your real estate empire. Have you been wanting to get your real estate license, but have been... Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Christmas. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Friday. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're on Facebook, hit the little bell icon. Hit the bell icon over on YouTube. Drop in your email at tampaschoolrealestate.com because you'll get early access to all the shows as we go live. And you'll get email notifications for the replays so you don't miss any of this information that we're out here disseminating to help you build a more successful real estate business, because essentially we've put ourselves in the position to where when we help others succeed is when we succeed. That's when we look our best. You know, if somebody takes a course with us and they nothing becomes of it, yeah, maybe it was them, maybe it was us. But when people are going out and crushing their goals, making their dreams a reality, getting on TV if that's what you want to do, there's just so many opportunities, and it's so fulfilling to see people realizing these opportunities. And one of the key things to be able to realize these opportunities is choosing something to specialize in. And let's just start the rundown of just really going broad of all these different categories that your real estate license is good for. A Florida real estate license works for pretty much, I shouldn't even say pretty much. It works for any type of real estate, including businesses, which are actually considered real estate in Florida. Even if it's an online business, you got some sort of Shopify store it is that you're selling. If it's your store, for sale by owner, that's okay. But if you want to broker deals like that, you need to be a business broker. So there's a lot of opportunities you can take advantage with your real estate license. We'll primarily be focusing on the brokerage side today. And when I say brokerage, that means you're a third party, kind of like a middle person in the middle of the buyer and the seller, helping bring them together. Could also be between a landlord and a tenant, and especially if you're doing commercial, that's where those leases can add up quite a bit. And if anyone wants to see some calculations on commercial leases and want to understand kind of what that pays out for something, we could even run through some commercial math today. If anyone wants to learn more about commercial, let me know in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we've got those all loaded up here. Yep, we've got them all running. Welcome in, everyone. So if there's anything in particular you want to see more on, drop that in the chat. Or like I said, if you want to talk to one of our advisors more confidentially, 813-333-2676. But let's go to the board here, and let's again go broad strokes. What are the specializations? What are the main areas of real estate that your real estate license is good for? And let's do something other than yellow. So number one, and this is number one because it is pretty much the highest volume, the bulk of the quantity of transactions, and that's in residential. And that's essentially people's homes. So what does it look like for a residential specialist? What is it that you're doing as a residential home specialist, if that's what you choose to specialize in? And that's what most real estate professionals specialize even further than this, and we'll get into that next. But what does that look like if you want to deal with residential homes? What would be your skill set that would maybe make this more appropriate for you? And the one thing that most people are going to have in common is you probably live in some sort of shelter. Maybe we could call that a home, maybe we call it an apartment, maybe we call it a condo, maybe it's a townhome. It's some sort of property that you live in. Typically for living. We could talk about residential investment, and that would technically, in this case here, probably fall under residential until we get over to a certain number. Then we switch over to calling it commercial, depending on what we're talking about. Let me throw that up here for now, commercial. That's the second category. And this is another one that is also a popular option. Now, there's far fewer commercial specialized agents because there are much fewer commercial real estate transactions. However, the commercial real estate transactions can sometimes be exponentially bigger than the residential transactions. And so when this is a commission-based business where you're getting paid a commission based on the sale price or based on the amount of lease payments over the term of the lease, if this is a commercial lease, there's a lot of money that can be made there as well, but there's a higher degree of specialization because with commercial real estate, one of the things if I'm summing this up, and this isn't a perfect comparison of this here, but if residential is about living in homes, commercial is about numbers. We'll just call it that to keep it simple. Numbers. So if you're a numbers person, commercial real estate might be something you more so take a liking to, something that more attracts you. If, again, you're more of a numbers person. Now, if you're not a numbers person, the residential is still going to involve numbers to a certain degree, like sales prices and dollar amounts of how much does somebody want to negotiate for a deposit. But it's not like where you're doing calculations to help somebody make a decision. And that's one of the big differences if you're specializing more in commercial rather than, say, specializing in helping people buy and sell homes they live in, or maybe single rental properties. That's again, very much about the living. But even if it's just one or two rental properties, it's technically residential, but you're involving more of the numbers stuff. So it's getting more towards commercial. But if you're, let's say, negotiating a lease for a grocery store, that's almost all numbers. That's not an emotional purchase at all, especially when you're dealing with larger businesses. Whereas residential is going to be a much more emotional process. And so what I'm getting to here, and there's still plenty of technicalities and details that you need to be aware of in residential, but it's not as intense, I should say, in terms of those details as you can often find in commercial. You know, with commercial, there's usually not just a single agent, a single real estate professional, just a single person working on a deal, unless it's a smaller deal. A lot of times, if I were to say, again, negotiating a lease for a grocery store, let's take Publix, for example. So Publix, if you're in Florida, you're very familiar with the #1 grocery store in Florida. The #1 grocery store in the Southeast, I believe, is their claim. And they're rapidly expanding. And if you've been in a Publix, you could probably see why. They're always busy. They usually have pretty good customer service. Maybe it used to be a little bit better if I don't know if I've got, remembering just everything being rosier. But I don't know. Maybe as they grow bigger, maybe they're even better than now. I don't know. I'm not a connoisseur. There's numbers, I'm sure, and there is. So if we talk about retail and, grocery stores, again, Publix is that example. They have a real estate department, a real estate division with over 300 employees. Now they're doing things on a massive scale. They're expanding very rapidly. Their stores are huge, and there's so much data and statistics they go through to where they know how much people are coming in their store, how often, where it is that they're coming from. So they've got all these numbers figured out so they could make the right decisions. So in commercial real estate, there's a lot more numbers driving the decision making. And that's why, again, there's usually an entire teams. And even if they don't have their own in-house real estate team, and this is where, there could be licensed positions available. Publix is based right out of Lakeland here in Florida, their headquarters. And they've got operations throughout the entire Southeast United States. And they have licensed professionals that work for them. If you're looking for more of a salary type of position, that's something that is going to be more unique in the commercial or really any of these other specializations, especially when they become larger operations and you're part of a larger team. That's where there might be some sort of salary or something along those lines that you're getting in addition to commission-based bonuses or some sort of bonus structure that's based on transactions. But in order to legally earn those transactional payments, you must have an active real estate license. So you have to obtain your Florida real estate license if that's something it is that you want to do. But that's commercial. And getting more into specializations, and we could dive deeper into any one of these here. If you want to talk more about residential, say residential in the chat. If you want to learn more about commercial, put commercial in the chat, and we could talk about some more commercial stuff. If you want to learn more about industrial. Now, I'll be honest, the industrial is not too different than commercial. It's just more of a different intent and a different purpose for the property and different things that are important. And it becomes much more specialized depending on the industrial use. Are we talking about a fulfillment center? You know, talking about Lakeland again, if anyone's driven between Tampa and Orlando, notice that little area in between known as Lakeland, you'll notice there's a lot of distribution facilities. Now, why would they put distribution facilities there? Is that just because that's the place to be, or is there some sort of reason why there's distribution facilities in the Lakeland area? Well, there's very specific reasons behind that. The reasons are that Lakeland is smack dab in the middle of Orlando and Tampa, two of the largest metropolitan areas in the state of Florida that are both rapidly expanding. And so from Lakeland, it's changed drastically over the years. But and it's still cheaper real estate than in Tampa or Orlando, in Lakeland typically, depending on the area, of course. But generally speaking, if you need to open a distribution center, an Amazon fulfillment center, maybe you're some sort of grocer, like say Publix, which is also based out of Lakeland. Again, you drive down, you see all kinds of different furniture companies, and it's because they could have these massive warehouses to store their products, to manufacture their products, and have easy distribution of both the Orlando and Tampa markets. And it's that type of thinking and that type of ideas and that type of efficiency. That's really more where industrial kind of comes into play, I would say. If we're going to pick a single thing in here, is efficiency. You don't need to know how to spell to do real estate, because efficiency, there's some I's and E's and C's in there. You get the idea. Efficiency. That's why you got me on here. The closed caption, if you're watching those, I'm sure that spells it correctly for efficiency. So industrial property, all about efficiency. Efficiency in its location, efficiency in its operation, and efficiency in its employment. And yes, that is numbers, so it's going to be similar to commercial, but again, think of industrial as an even deeper specialization than just commercial. Now, kind of sidestepping into another category that's also very deeply specialized is agricultural. So Lakeland, another great example, because there's a lot of agricultural property in the Lakeland area as well. And we'll call it farming and ranching. That's what you need to be an expert on if you want to be an agricultural real estate specialist. And you might say, well, John, you know what? I grew up with horses. I grew up on a farm. I know all there is to know. I could pick up a handful of dirt and taste it with my mouth and tell you how good the corn is going to taste from this. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, but you know, that's probably where agricultural real estate is more so your calling. Now, if you're not gonna, want to taste any dirt or, and I don't even know if that's a real, I saw that on TV one time. Somebody was like tasting dirt. I don't know if that was a real TV show or something made up. But whatever it may be that you understand about what's important. Look, I'm not a farmer. I'm not a rancher. I didn't grow up on a farm. I didn't grow up on a ranch. So I wouldn't be your guy. If you're like, I've got a farm to sell. John, can you help me sell my farm? I'd love to try, but I could probably get you in touch with somebody who's much more specialized in agricultural property. How does that sound? I have a couple contacts. I'll run some things by them and figure out who would be a good fit for you. But would you like me to personally screen some people to help you get the right decision about who's... Because obviously if they're coming to you, they trust you. So somebody coming to me... And look, people come to me all the time because there's a lot of people that know I specialize in real estate. But that's not really a specialization like we've been talking about here. So they reach out to me. And when you position yourself as a real estate specialist like this to your sphere, people will reach out to you. I mean, you don't want to run marketing that's like, are you a first-time home buyer? Otherwise, I don't want to work with you. Maybe you have some advertising that targets first-time home buyers, but when you're talking to your friends, your family, you wouldn't say to your friends, well, you already own homes, so I can't help you. I only work with first-time home buyers. No, you wouldn't do that. You would say, yeah, I'm in real estate. What do you do for a living? I'm in real estate. I'm a realtor. I'm a real estate professional. Whatever you want to say. But people then will approach you because they don't, and even if you tell them the specifics, oh, I'm a specialist in condo sales. Oh, really? Can you help me sell my farm? Did you not just hear I specialize in condo sales? They don't listen. They hear real estate or whatever real estate sounds like to them. And you got to realize when you have this superior knowledge that you'll have having a real estate license, it's so easy to very quickly talk over somebody's head. And now that doesn't make them feel comfortable with you. It makes them feel intimidated by you to where they're not going to trust you because they feel intimidated by you. And the more knowledgeable you come, the easier it is to seem intimidating to the average person. And so somebody might approach you, and a farmer, they're going to ask the real estate guy or the real estate girl, can you help me sell my house? Because they're a farmer, not a real estate specialist. But somewhere out there, there's real estate specialists who also specialized in farming and ranching or whatever. And that hybrid beast is the ideal person. And, if we get somebody in touch with them, again, we could refer that business to the specialist. Hey, I have a good friend of mine. I have a family member. I have whoever. I have an acquaintance of mine that needs some help selling their farm. I'm looking for an agricultural specialist. I looked in the MLS and saw you've done quite a few agricultural properties. Are you taking new listings? You are? Okay, great. Now, this client, they're pretty much ready to go. Would you be willing to pay me a 25% referral fee or whatever it is you want to negotiate? You want to say 50% because it's teed up and ready to go. I just signed one of those a couple weeks ago for one of my agents, a 50% referral fee. And you might say, why did they agree to a 50% referral fee? Well, it's because the deal is basically done. They just need somebody to take it on home. And so whatever it is you negotiate, hey, would you agree to pay me 25% of the commission as a referral fee if the deal closes for referring this client to you? It's turnkey, pretty much ready to go. How does that sound? Good? Great. I'll send that over to you, sign off on it. They do the deal, they get it closed, you get your kickback check at closing, and now you're getting paid just for making the connection. So keep in mind with specialization, you still want to be aware of what else the real estate license can be good for, especially when it comes to referrals. Because there shouldn't be any one of these. You shouldn't say, oh, I don't do commercial. Don't be a dummy. Don't say I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't specialize in that, but I could get you in touch with somebody who does. It's as easy as that. And now that getting in touch, that little connection, you might just broker relationships. You might not even broker the sales. You might just be brokering the relationships. If you want to be able to do that, it's through referral fees, and you need an active real estate license to do it. You don't have to join a full-fledged broker, though. You could join just a referral broker where you don't have to be a realtor and join the MLS and pay all the dues and all the other things like that. And if you have questions about any of that, call us up, 813-333-2676, and we can go over any of that more confidentially with you. But let's throw the fifth category up here, and then we'll dive deeper into some of these in specific. But the fifth category is businesses. Now, in Florida, it is assumed by Florida law that all businesses pertain to real estate or contain some sort of real estate, essentially, is what it means. That there is real estate involved in all businesses. Now, you might say, oh, I just got some sort of Shopify store. There's nothing physical. We just sell online courses or whatever. It's still a business in Florida. Anything that is a business is considered real estate. And there's few exceptions, like if you're a Securities and Exchange Commission licensed dealer and you're selling publicly traded securities, you don't need a real estate license for that. But if you're trying to broker a business sale, yes, you need a real estate license and an active real estate license. And which one of these areas it is that you want to specialize in? Now, like I said, most people are going to specialize in residential. Commercial is also popular, but especially these categories down here. I would say business would be the third most popular, because agricultural and industrial are far more specialized. But again, if you have that more expert information as it pertains to these categories, you might be more of a natural. Like me, I would probably struggle trying to sell farmland and ranch land, because something that somebody might already know, I've got to learn all that farming and ranching stuff. Otherwise, how am I going to be the most effective person to broker this transaction? So that's, again, the benefit of having a specialization and knowing what your specialization is, because then you can refer out the business of anything it is that you're not specialized in, and anything it is that you're not quite sure exactly how to do it. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know every single type of transaction. That's the reason why, if you're taking the pre-licensing course, we've got the textbook right here from the pre-licensing course, most of this stuff in here is about residential real estate, and that's because that is the category that most real estate professionals choose to specialize in. Just because if you already live in some sort of home or shelter, condo, apartment, whatever it is you want to call it, you understand a lot of those things that another homeowner could be potentially interested in. So just because you're a consumer of homes, you have a leg up. Just like if you had done any sort of accounting or commercial real estate type of activities or anything like that previously, that would also give you a leg up, but more, again, in that commercial realm. If you're more numbers oriented, any of these types of real estate that are more numbers oriented, like businesses is going to be very numbers oriented. Commercial is a lot more numbers oriented. Industrial is numbers oriented. So those are areas that you may want to specialize in. But at the same time, the highest frequency, the highest quantity of transactions are through residential real estate, because everybody needs some place to live. So look, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're diving deeper into these different categories. So let me know in the chat if there's anyone in particular you want to see more on. Otherwise, we'll focus probably mostly on residential, and maybe we'll do a little calculation on a commercial lease to understand what you could earn for a commission on a commercial lease and what you could earn on a commission on a traditional sale, to help you understand that. And we'll dive into how you could further segment within the commercial sector or within the residential sector. So stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam, because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Chrismo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. And remember, if you have particular questions about how you can get started in real estate, the particular path it is that you want to go down and the courses required to get started with that, we have advisors here that have real estate licenses themselves, whether it's a sales associate, a broker, or real estate instructors, of course, as well. Call us up, 813-333-2676, or you could also text us at that same number, 813-333-2676. Or check us out online at the good old Tampa School of Real Estate.com. Or just tsre.us if you don't want to type so many letters. But anyways, let's get back to today's topic of specializing in real estate and the 5 different categories it is that you can choose to specialize in. So we talked about residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, as well as businesses. But let's say you want to choose residential, because that's what most people choose. Why? Probably the easiest. So if you're looking for the easy road, I don't want to say it's easy, but compared to the other categories, you're probably, again, already, unless you've never had a home your entire life, you probably know a thing or two about living in a home. And if you haven't, watch the TV shows. There's not too many TV shows about broker and commercial sales. And you might be saying, well, John, is it really like the TV shows? Usually not. There's a lot of extra drama added for entertainment value to the TV shows. But at the root of it, sometimes they're not too far off of what you do as a real estate professional. And I know that also because there's a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot of, there's a handful of students that have came through Tampa School of Real Estate that have gone on to get their own TV shows, be featured on different like HGTV shows, Netflix having their own TV show, all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So there's so much you could do with real estate, but as much drama as you might see in reality TV shows, again, that's there for the entertainment value, but at the root of it, there's a lot of real estate that's going on. Like a lot of these shows, there's actual transactions that they're really doing. Or at least trying to do, even if they don't get the deal done. And you're able to see their efforts, and you're able to see the differences between the agents who do get deals done and the things that go right and how things work versus things that may not work. And yes, there's going to be so much more that you're learning about through Tampa School of Real Estate, through these courses, more real world stuff, more things that, the important things to know that don't make the cut for the TV shows. But there's so much where you could have the product knowledge. That's really what watching the TV shows is going to do. If you just watch the flipping TV shows or any TV shows talking about houses, you'll know words like tray ceilings and hardwood or laminate or vinyl or ceramic tile, and you'll understand the differences of those things. That's product knowledge, and that's not essential to be successful in real estate. But especially in the residential capacity, those things that a homeowner would be interested in knowing, and knowing the value and the benefit and helping differentiate, helping counsel somebody. Look, here's the thing. If you're relying on your buyer to figure it out all on their own, they're probably not. So that's why you're there to help them, to guide them, to offer your professional opinion, to help them make the best decisions for them. And with this, there's a lot of different things you could specialize in the residential side of things. We already mentioned first-time home buyer, first-timers. That's one of our students. I think her show is the First Timers Club, where she specializes in working with first-time home buyers. And that's, I think, on HGTV or one of those. It's a major network it's on, so again, another Tampa School success story. And maybe it's the stars we've got in our logo here. You know, we always thought, you know, the sky is the limit. You could shoot for the stars. That was kind of the idea behind the logo way back. This was even prior to 2007, but before, because Tampa School of Real Estate launched in 2007. So I don't even know what time the stars were kind of figured as the logo. But, you know, especially as we've became a lot more video oriented, and, you know, again, some of our students have even gone on to have their own TV shows, that whole star thing is really starting to take on a whole new meaning here at the Tampa School of Real Estate. But anyways, so you could choose to specialize in working with first-time home buyers. And there's a lot of education to that process, because this is something new that they don't understand. Because if it wasn't new, they would have already done it. If they understood it, they probably would have already did it. And that's where you add value. Your expert information, your value is the expert information you provide to help make this transaction as smooth, as seamless as possible. And again, for first-time home buyers, showing that it's even a possibility in the first place, that's so huge for it. But at the same time, you might not want to focus on first-time home buyers. You may want to focus on move-ups. So what are move-ups? Move-ups are people that, you know, they buy a starter home. I was going to say a starter phone. A starter home. They get a starter home and they want to move up into a bigger property, a nicer property, in a better area with better amenities. Almost everybody is going to have a starter home, because most people can't afford to get their dream home as their first home. And so if you want to get more into luxury real estate, that's maybe where you're doing move-ups. And it might not be the most luxurious real estate, because you might still be targeting the everyday person, but maybe those more premium types of finishes. Maybe you're going to specialize in new construction. Or I also mentioned you can maybe specialize or focus in condos, or high-rises and townhomes and urban living. Or maybe You're specializing in waterfront. Maybe you love the water. Maybe you have a boat. Maybe you like to fish. And so waterfront real estate, you could connect with other people who are wanting to buy waterfront real estate. And here's the thing about waterfront real estate, if you connect with those people. I don't know, do I got enough dollar signs there? That's why there's so much high-value real estate in Florida. It's almost all along our coastline. We have the most coastline out of the 48 contiguous United States. Alaska has us beat, but otherwise, we have the most coastline in the United States. So waterfront real estate, a lot of money there. And again, there's a specialized knowledge for waterfront homes. Maybe you're specializing in... And we could go on and on. There's all kinds of different property types it is you could specialize in. Maybe you're a lagoon specialist. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, you might know what that means, or if you've got a lagoon wherever it is that you are. But I think we've got like 2 or 3 lagoons now in the Tampa Bay area. And the lagoon living is a little bit different than an average home. And again, specializing in this area. This is where we start also talking about farm areas. And you might be saying, well, I thought agricultural was separate. And we're not talking about agriculture. We're not talking about farming at all. This is a marketing term. This is basically the idea of geographically target marketing a particular area, a particular neighborhood that you're focusing on. So maybe, again, you're focusing on these lagoon communities. Why would you focus on that? Well, that's something to showcase. That's something you could use to get attention. If you're new, you don't even have any listings, I mean, you could focus on communities. People that are moving to, what was the statistic? There's like, I think 50,000 people just moving to Hillsborough County every month, I believe it is. And I believe last year we had 500,000 people just move to Florida. So there's so many people that are coming here who have no idea what the territory is or where it is that they want to live. And they're looking for trusted professionals who know the neighborhoods, who know the local places to eat, the places it is that, you could take your kids to a park with little like splash pads, or knowing the different potentially places of worship that are in the area, or things that homeowners might be interested in finding out. And there are some protections. There's something called the Fair Housing Act, which if you already took the pre-licensing course, you have your real estate license, you probably remember all about that. But there's certain protected categories that you're not allowed to use in your marketing because it would be considered a form of discrimination. And you'll learn more about that in your pre-licensing course. But there's 7. It's a very limited list of 7 different categories of specific information. But otherwise, you could target and choose your farm areas and position your marketing to appeal to a very segmented group of people. Because now when you're appearing as a specialist to this group of people who your specialization appeals to, so if you're a lagoon specialist and you go out there, let's say you make a video about the lagoon, that's all. You go out there, you go take your phone and you just go shoot it in selfie mode, because there's a billion videos on the internet shot in selfie mode, so you don't need a camera person. You just go out there and like, hey, John Chrismo from ABC Realty or whatever your brokerage name is. I'm here today at this lagoon, check it out. Look at all the water, look at the sun, look at the fun, look at the place you can get food and drinks. If you want to find out more about living in a lagoon community like this, there's limited opportunities available. Contact me today, 813-333-2676. But don't call that number unless you want to call Tampa School of Real Estate. But now you put that information out there. You shoot a quick little video. You might say, well, John, I'm not going to be able to do it as good as you. Practice, and you will. Because when I started doing videos, I don't know how many years ago now, I couldn't just pull out a phone and sound like that. If you're saying I can't do that, I was in the same boat. You know how terrifying it was for me to do the first live stream we did in here in front of just a single camera? The crusty little whiteboard we used to have to use in here. You'll get better over time. But you won't get better unless you start. You won't ever have a real estate career unless you start. So if you're watching this, you're like, someday I want to take this course. Go sign up right now. Quit saying someday and sign up. You'll have a year to complete the online courses, so get enrolled and figure it out as you go. Because look, you don't have to quit your job to start this. You could do this on the side, but especially for anyone out there that's doing this part-time on the side, If you've got a day job or any sort of job that something that keeps you busy during most hours where you have limited time to focus on your real estate business, that's where working smart, working efficiently becomes much more important. And if you're not positioning yourself as a specialist, you're never going to get a line of people lined up to work with you. So if you want to have a full pipeline of people that want to work with you, you have to create that pipeline. You have to create the attraction. And look, if you're not a video person, you don't want to do the videos, fine. Put a flyer out or run an ad or something like that. It's not going to work as good as a video. I don't care how good you are at videos, as long as they can hear what you're saying and it looks halfway decent. And if you've got a recent cell phone, it's probably going to take a decent enough video and sound good enough. Even if it doesn't, it's going to help get you attention as a real estate professional. And then you realize, okay, maybe I do hire a professional because I've got no idea what I'm doing with a video. But I've proven that it does help me get attention, so I do want to pursue this. So get out there and start making things like that happen. To showcase your specialization, because your specialization is nothing if no one knows about it. At least in terms of your business, because if no one knows you're a specialist in this area, then you won't be able to serve the people that you would specialize in. So you need to shout from the mountaintops what it is that you specialize in your marketing, in your advertising, and casual conversations. You don't have to go super niche and say, I'm a waterfront first-time home buyer specialist. Wow, waterfront first-time home buyers. You do many deals? Because that's kind of a... What do they call that, where the two things that don't go together? I don't know. This isn't a grammar show. But anyways, having some sort of specialization, like I said, you don't want to lean too hard into it where you just like turn people away. But when you're marketing yourself, you want to market yourself as a specialization that you have that makes sense for you to try to attract business. Because if you just say, hey, I've got a real estate license, so does like 300,000 other people in Florida. So why you? What makes you special? And when you're special because your specialization is exactly for your target audience, your close rates will be through the roof. You don't even have to worry about doing a hard sell because it's just going to make sense for people when you are the right solution for them and you position yourself as the right solution and you align yourself with the people who need your solution. Not everybody's going to need your solution. Like if you specialize in first-time home buyers, somebody that's moving up into a luxury waterfront property, it's probably not going to be too different. It's probably going to be an easier deal than a first-time home buyer because first-time home buyers can be a little bit trickier. There'll be some things different, but ultimately you could still do the deal. So it's not like you have to turn away the business. Now, like I said, if somebody's trying to sell a business or a commercial deal or something like that, that's maybe where you go into a completely doing now a referral agreement with somebody who does specialize in that type of real estate. But being able to position yourself as a real estate specialist will do wonders for your real estate career. So if you don't yet have a specialization, start thinking about it. How do you want to position yourself when you market yourself to the world, and not even necessarily to the world, but to your target audience? To that target audience, what is it that's in common with them about you that you could specialize in that hits most of your target audience? Because again, when you can line up the perfect solution with the people that need that perfect solution, it's basically a done deal before it even happens. So look, that's about all the time we've got for today. I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Ask the State of Real Estate. Wednesdays is Ask the Instructor. Today is Friday. I got to remind myself what day of the week it is sometimes. It's Friday. And so this is State of Real Estate, where we're talking about growing your real estate business, which is exactly what we talk about today. Wednesdays, we talk about that too, but we also get a little bit deeper into some of the technicalities. We've got lots of stuff on exam prep. If you're studying for your Florida real estate exams, check out our YouTube, check out our Facebook, go to tampaschool.com/success to see the full Success Center with all of these videos and articles and information about building a real estate career at some level. It could be about open houses. It could be about referral fees. Maybe you want to learn more about doing real estate part-time, about the income it is that you could make. There's so much content we've got on there. We've literally been doing this for years now. There's thousands of hours of videos and articles and calculators and tools. And this is all available for free at tampaschoolrealestate.com. And again, if you don't want to miss any updates, make sure you drop in your email at tampaschoolrealestate.com. And again, if you want to talk to one of our advisors more directly, the phones are open, 813-333-2676. You could call or text us at that number, 813-333-2676. 2676. But otherwise, that's all I've got for you today. I want to thank you for tuning into this week's episode. We will be back on Wednesday next week for Ask the Instructor, so make sure you're tuned in then. But until then, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. So you just got your real estate license. How can you jumpstart your real estate business? The number one thing you should do before you do anything else is post-licensing. Now look, this is already a requirement, so you're gonna have to do it anyways, but here's why you wanna do it early. The sooner you do post-licensing, the sooner you're gonna learn the real world concepts in post-licensing that will help you create a business plan, that'll help you plan for your success in real estate. Post-licensing is all about real world topics that are usable, that'll help you grow your real estate business. And at Tampa School of Real Estate, we have the best post-licensing courses around. Find out more about how post-licensing can help you jumpstart your real estate career. Go to postflorida.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Have you been thinking about getting your Florida real estate license? Look, the process is probably easier than you think. We break it down step by step, how much it's going to cost, what it is that you need to do to get your Florida real estate license. Find out all of that and more at licensefl.com. Again, that's licensefl.com.